Research report writing and academic publishing. This unit focuses on the final stage of the research process, communicating research findings effectively. Conducting a high-quality study is only part of the research journey. The value of research is realized when its findings are clearly presented, shared, and published. Research report writing allows researchers to document their work systematically, while academic publishing helps disseminate knowledge to a wider scholarly audience. This unit covers the significance of report writing, the structure of research reports, oral presentations, writing mechanics, conclusions and recommendations, academic publishing, ethical issues, and software tools used in research. Significance of research report writing. Research report writing is one of the most important activities in the research process because it serves as the primary means of communicating research findings. A research report creates a permanent record of the study and enables other researchers, practitioners, policymakers, and stakeholders to understand and evaluate the work. Through report writing, researchers demonstrate their scholarly contribution and provide evidence that can support decision-making and future investigations. A well-written report enhances the credibility and professional reputation of the researcher while ensuring that valuable findings are not lost. The process of writing a research report begins with organizing all research materials and data. Researchers then review their objectives, research questions, and hypotheses to ensure that the report remains focused. A detailed outline is prepared before drafting the report. Generally, researchers begin with sections such as methods and results because they are based directly on completed work. Tables, figures, and references are then integrated into the document. After completing the first draft, the report undergoes revision, editing, proofreading, and formatting checks to ensure clarity, accuracy, and compliance with citation styles such as APA 7th edition. Layout of a research report. IMRA-D structure. Most scientific and academic research reports follow the IMRA-D structure, which stands for Introduction, Methods, Results, and Discussion. This structure provides a logical and systematic way of presenting research findings. The report typically begins with a title page containing the title of the study, the author's name, institutional affiliation, and date. This is followed by an abstract, which provides a concise summary of the research problem, methodology, key findings, and conclusions. The introduction presents the background of the study, identifies the research problem, states the research questions or hypotheses, and explains the significance of the investigation. A literature review follows, where previous studies and theoretical frameworks are examined to identify gaps in existing knowledge. The methods section describes the research design, sampling procedures, instruments, data collection methods, analytical techniques, and ethical considerations. The results section presents the findings objectively through tables, charts, and statistical outputs without interpretation. Interpretation occurs in the discussion section, where findings are explained, compared with previous research, and linked to theoretical and practical implications. The report concludes with a conclusion section that summarizes the major findings, answers the research questions, and provides recommendations for future research or practical applications. A reference list containing all cited sources is included at the end, followed by appendices that may contain questionnaires, interview schedules, consent forms, or supplementary data. Research reports can take different forms, including theses, dissertations, journal articles, conference papers, technical reports, policy briefs, and popular articles. The format depends on the purpose and intended audience of the research. Oral presentation of research. Research findings are often communicated through oral presentations at conferences, seminars, workshops, and thesis defenses. Effective presentations require careful preparation and clear communication. Researchers should understand their audience, organize their presentation logically, and design slides that are visually appealing and easy to understand. Slides should contain minimal text, clear graphics, and one major idea per slide. During the presentation, researchers should speak clearly, maintain eye contact, use appropriate body language, and manage time effectively. A strong presentation often begins with an engaging introduction, followed by a concise explanation of methods, key findings, and conclusions. Researchers should also be prepared to answer questions professionally during the discussion session. Common presentation mistakes include reading directly from slides, overcrowding slides with text, exceeding time limits, and failing to engage with the audience. Mechanics of writing a research paper. The mechanics of writing refer to the technical aspects of academic writing, including grammar, punctuation, spelling, capitalization, abbreviations, and citation practices. Good academic writing should be clear, concise, and precise. Researchers are encouraged to use active voice whenever appropriate because it makes writing more direct and understandable. For example, "We collected data from 200 participants" is often clearer than "data were collected from 200 participants." Writers must ensure proper subject-verb agreement, correct punctuation, and consistent terminology throughout the document. APA 7th edition recommends spelling out numbers 1 through 9 and using numerals for numbers 10 and above, although exceptions exist for percentages, ages, and statistical values. Abbreviations should be defined when first introduced. Proper citation practices are essential to acknowledge sources and avoid plagiarism. In-text citations generally follow the author date format, while the reference list should be arranged alphabetically with complete publication details. Precautions in research writing. Several precautions must be taken when preparing a research report. One of the most important is avoiding plagiarism, which involves using another person's ideas, words, or work without proper acknowledgement. Researchers must cite all sources accurately, paraphrase appropriately, and use plagiarism detection software when necessary. Objectivity should be maintained throughout the report by presenting findings impartially and avoiding biased language. Researchers should also verify the accuracy of data, tables, and calculations before submission. Consistent terminology should be used throughout the document to prevent confusion. Confidentiality and privacy of participants must be respected, particularly when reporting sensitive information. Additionally, researchers should follow all institutional or journal-specific formatting and submission guidelines. Thorough proofreading is essential to eliminate grammatical errors, inconsistencies, and formatting problems. Conclusions and recommendations. The conclusion is one of the most important sections of a research report because it provides the final interpretation of the study. A strong conclusion restates the research problem and objectives, summarizes the key findings, and clearly answers each research question. It synthesizes the evidence presented throughout the study and highlights its significance without introducing new data. Researchers should discuss both theoretical and practical implications of their findings. They should also acknowledge limitations of the study honestly, as this demonstrates transparency and scholarly integrity. Recommendations should be specific, realistic, and based on the findings. Future research directions may also be suggested to address unresolved questions or limitations. An effective conclusion leaves readers with a clear understanding of the study's contribution to knowledge. Academic publishing, journals, impact factor, and ethics. Academic publishing is the primary method through which researchers share their findings with the global scholarly community. Scholarly journals publish peer-reviewed research articles, ensuring that submitted work meets established standards of quality and rigor. Publication allows researchers to contribute to scientific progress, gain recognition, and establish academic credibility. One commonly used measure of journal influence is the Journal Impact Factor, JIF, which reflects the average number of citations received by articles published in a journal over a specified period. Other metrics such as Cite Score, SC Imago Journal Rank SJR, and Eigen Factor are also used to assess journal performance. Although these metrics provide useful information, they should not be considered the sole indicators of research quality because citation patterns vary across disciplines. Researchers should carefully select journals that align with their research topic, target audience, and publication goals. Factors such as journal scope, reputation, acceptance rate, indexing status, and open access options should be considered. Open access journals increase the visibility and accessibility of research but may require authors to pay article processing charges, APCs. Researchers should also be cautious of predatory journals that charge publication fees without providing genuine peer review or editorial services. Ethical issues in academic publishing. Ethics play a central role in academic publishing. Plagiarism is one of the most serious forms of academic misconduct and includes direct copying, mosaic plagiarism, self-plagiarism, conceptual plagiarism, and source plagiarism. Consequences of plagiarism may include manuscript rejection, article retraction, loss of professional reputation, and disciplinary action. Authorship ethics are equally important. Only individuals who have made substantial contributions to the conception, design, execution, analysis, or writing of a study should be listed as authors. Honorary authorship and ghost authorship violate accepted academic standards. Researchers must also disclose any conflicts of interest, including financial relationships, funding sources, employment affiliations, or personal interests that could influence the interpretation of results. Another important ethical principle is avoiding duplicate submission, which occurs when the same manuscript is submitted simultaneously to multiple journals. Such practices waste editorial resources and violate publishing ethics. Software tools for research. Modern research relies heavily on software tools that improve efficiency, organization, and quality. Reference management software, RMS, helps researchers collect, organize, and format citations automatically. Popular examples include Mendeley, Zotero, and EndNote. These tools reduce citation errors and simplify reference management, particularly in large projects. Researchers commonly use Microsoft Word for writing and formatting research papers because it is widely accessible and compatible with reference management software. LaTeX is preferred in fields that require extensive mathematical notation and complex formatting, while Google Docs facilitates real-time collaboration among research teams. Plagiarism detection software such as Turnitin and I-Then-Ticate helps researchers identify potential similarities with published sources. Grammarly assists with grammar, spelling, clarity, and writing style. Literature searches are often conducted using databases such as Scopus, Web of Science, PubMed, and Google Scholar, which provide access to scholarly publications and citation information. Case study illustration. Consider a doctoral student who conducted a mixed method study on remote work productivity. After completing data collection and analysis, she organized her findings according to the IMRA-D structure and prepared a comprehensive research report. She used Microsoft Word for writing and Mendeley for managing references. Following several rounds of revision and supervisor feedback, she ensured that the report met APA 7th edition standards. To disseminate her findings, she prepared a conference presentation consisting of 12 slides featuring graphs and key results. She practiced multiple times before delivering a 15-minute presentation at an academic conference. Subsequently, she identified a suitable peer-reviewed journal with an impact factor of 2.8 and submitted her manuscript. Before submission, she checked the manuscript using I-Then-Ticate and obtained a similarity score of only 9%, primarily from standard methodological terminology. After minor revisions, the journal accepted her article for publication. Conclusion. Research report writing and academic publishing represent the final and most visible stages of the research process. A well-structured report ensures that research findings are communicated clearly, accurately, and professionally. Effective oral presentations further extend the reach of research by engaging audiences directly. Academic publishing enables researchers to contribute to the global body of knowledge while gaining professional recognition. However, successful publication requires careful journal selection, adherence to ethical standards, and awareness of scholarly metrics such as impact factor. By mastering report writing, presentation skills, publication strategies, and research software tools, researchers can maximize the impact and value of their work, ensuring that their findings contribute meaningfully to academic knowledge and societal development.